Morning. As we go to the chitas of today, we're holding on in the book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, in the Parsha of Kairach. We are holding on chapter 17, verse number 9. God spoke to Moshe saying, stand aside from this congregation. I shall consume them in an instant. And they fell on their faces. Verse 11, and Moshe Rabbeinu said to Aaron, take the pan, the censer, and put upon it fire, from the altar, and take quickly incense, and run quickly to the people, forgive for them. Because the anger went out before God, and the plague has started. Now she says the seeker was given over to him by the angel of death. When he went to heaven, that the incense, Keteres, holds back the plague. And this is brought down in Masechta Shabbos. And Aaron ran and took it right away. Like Moshe Rabbeinu said, he ran in the midst of the people, and the plague started. He put the Keteres and he brought forgiveness to the people. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague stopped. Now she says, the Medrash says, he took a hold on the angel, and he held him against his will. The angel said to him, allow me to accomplish my mission. Aaron said to him, Moshe command me to stop you. He said to him, thank you very much that Moshe Rabbeinu command you. I was commanded by God. I'm a messenger of God, and you are a messenger of Moshe Rabbeinu. So he said to him, Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't do anything on his own volition. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't do anything on his own, but only on the bidding of the Almighty. And if you do not believe me, the Holy One, blessed be He, and Moshe at the end of the tent of meeting, come with me and ask. We'll go together, and we'll go to the Mishkan, and we'll ask. This is the meaning of the statement. Aaron returned to Moshe Rabbeinu. Right away, it says in the next part, in a couple of verses, it says, next two verses, it says that Aaron returns to Moshe. That's one interpretation. Another interpretation, why do with incense? Because the Jews were slandering, and they were laughing at the incense, saying that it was a deadly poison. They said, look at that. Titus, service in the Beis Hamikdash, which is seemingly to serve the Eibishter, was used for the opposite. It was used to kill 250 people. So this is terrible. The only one, blessed be He, you shall see, that will stop the plague. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu said, Chas v'shalom. The Keteres brings about healing. It saves people, the opposite. And that's what happened, that the Keteres saved them. And the people that died in the plague was Abba Asa Elef, 14,000, Sheva Meis, and 14,700 people died that day. Besides the 250 and all the families, a lot of people died, all because of machlekes arguments. And Aaron returned to Moshe to tent at the entrance of the Oil Moed, and the plague stopped. And that's the completion of the Chumash for today. Now I go to the Tanya of the day. We're going to the end of chapter 10 of Tanya, chapter 10 of the Shara Yichud V'El Amunah. The Alter Rebbe now offers an instance in how the creation came about through the Sfiris. So he says, Al Derech Mashal, I'll give you an analogy. On the first day of the sixth day of creation, Niglas midas hachesed was revealed. It was the attribute of kindness. Which in this attribute of kindness was together with all the other 6 midas, came together. And Ritzaynai, and not only the midas came together, the will of God, V'chachmasei, and the wisdom of God, Ubi Nasei, and God's understanding, V'daite, his knowledge, V'luvashim ba, all enclosed in midas hachesed. What did midas hachesed on the first day of creation create? It's in the Torah. Uvara ba'esa'ir. What did God create on the first day of creation? Oir. Light. That God said, let there be light. What is light? What is light? That's chesed. What is chesed? Chesed is light. Why? Because the concept of diffusion. Chesed is to give. Oir is to diffuse, is to light. Oir goes wherever you want to let it in. Oir is a concept of light that comes from the world above to light and give light to the world below. And Oir goes from the beginning. Oir goes anywhere. Oir goes all over. That's why one of the expressions we express God is Oir Ein Sof, an infinite light. Because light is infinite, so to say. Because light is about giving. The bigger the light, the stronger the light, the further it can go. And that's the attribute of kindness. Kindness is giving. Unlimited giving. But the problem is, the good thing is, that this attribute, the midas hachesed, also has gevura in it. And now you have the attribute of atzilus all incorporated in each other. Therefore, this light is not a completely as it was lamaila, because it came with gevura. So since there was gevura part of this chesed, as it says, the chesed is Sunday, but since in the first day, since it had within a gevura, so therefore it ultimately had a limitation, some aspect of limitation. And then ultimately Cain. So Cain, this was mispashet. Ain't saved on Yom Rishon. Was mispashet on Yom Rishon. Was diffused in the first day, and it ultimately came into the Atzilus, where there the diffusion wasn't much greater, and it was an ain't safe. It was an infinite concept, and then it came down to Elam Abriya, and ultimately came down to this world, an Fascinating thing is, Rashi says that even the world could not handle. The that was mispashet on that day to the world was even so greater that it had to be again that God had to hide that So therefore, it also came enclosed in this world. The chinas gevul in a limitation with tachlis, limited, finite and limited. Gevul is finite, tachlis is limitation. As the Gemara says, whatever the meaning is, that it takes 500 years to travel from one rakia to another rakia, from one formation to one world, one heaven to another heaven. So these limitations would not have come to pass were creation to proceed undiluted from the attribute of kindness. If kindness would stay alone, the world would not be here the way it is. It will be like a world of Atzilus. Therefore, we have the mixture of gevura, which ultimately, because of this gevura in this chesed, that's why we can ultimately have a physical world. However, since the attribute of might, the source of limitation, is incorporated within this kindness, creation is finite. At any rate, because the attribute of kindness was revealed and was dominant in the first day of creation, created being like the chesed, such as light, came into existence on that day. That day was the concept of light. And then came the second day. Second day was Midas HaGevura. Midas HaGevura came with everything together, came with Chesed also. But it was Midas HaGevura. Together with everything else, with the Tzayna and etc., with the will of God and the wisdom of etc. And what happened? And now they're able to create a firmament. Through the ordinance, let there be firmament in the midst of the waters. So now we have division. That's Gevura. Gevura is division, separation. Chesed is inclusion. Gevura is division. And now you have the difference between the upper waters and the lower waters. You have the difference between the Shamayim and V'aretz. So here we have the first concept. That's what it's brought down. That the second day was the create the concepts of separation. Where you have the second, you have separation. You have an argument. You have an argument. The upper waters argued with the lower waters. The lower waters were jealous of the upper waters. It's into good as lahal and so this is the separation of the waters of a firmament, the expression of tzimtzum. Wrote down the Eibush separate the upper water. What's the upper waters? What's the lower waters? We know what the lower waters is. That's water. What's the upper waters? That's waters in Ruchnias, in a spiritual concept of water. For the lower waters. Therefore, the water below became physical water, what we know. And it's separated from the upper waters. The upper waters are more spiritual than the lower waters. So that is the concept of tzimtzum. Tzimtzum, the concept of this contraction and this separation, brought about that there's spiritual and physical. The truth is, it was the first day already. The oil is also physical in comparison to Ein Sof. But again, to us is a concept of spirituality. It's a concept of infinity, and that's why it's oil. The second day, now we see the concept of physicality, because there's actually physical water, something tangible, something we can touch. But still, Midas HaChesed was connected to it, because water also in Chassidus is the concept of tainug. Everything is created through water. All tainuga ilam hazeh, all the pleasures of this world is created through water. So there's a great amount of chesed. Unbelievable chesed. But as we say, water can be good and water can be tough. You don't want to have too much water. You can drown in water. Note that the very fact the building itself is an expression of kindness. Olam chesed yibana. Thus, even where might prevailed, even there was the might in the world, it was still chesed. Shakol kidei shetiraya basha. Because the whole purpose of the division of water is in order that the dry land appear on it. Next day, and humanity will work on it. And that's why the third day is Midas HaRachamim. It's the concept of the Avedas Adam, Oretz, creation of the world, as it says in the third day of creation, that God brought about the bringing out of the earth, the physical earth came out on the third day. And that's one of the reasons why it says that the third day is Pamayim Kitov. So the first day, it says it was good. Oir is good. Second day, you have division Gevura. It doesn't say good. It doesn't say the Torah it was good at all. Because the first argument started, the first concept of argument, the jealousy between the upper waters and the lower started on the second day. Even though the Eibishter wanted all this for the concept of good. But the humanity, physicality, only sees what it's for himself, and therefore couldn't see the good. And then came the third day, which is the concept of the earth, which is the beginning of the purpose of man, which would be Rachamim, which would bring together the first two days. which would elevate both days, Chesed and Gevura, which would bring about the true purpose in the first day of creation, the second day of creation. Now you have Pamayim Kitay. As the Gemara says, why did it say 2 times good on the third day? Because it's Tev LaShamayim and Tev LaHaretz. It's good to the world, it's good to God, it's good to man. Because the Rachamim, the third day is the attribute of beauty, the mercy, which brings about great for God, for the spirituality, and greater for humanity. And that's why it's brought down the Eliyahu Navi, Pasach Eliyahu, which we say on Erev Shabbos. Pasach Eliyahu Navi said his speech in Kabbalah. The purpose of the emanation of Sfiris was to show how the world is conducted with righteousness and justice. Tzedek Yudin. Righteousness is law. It's Monday. Mishpat Yerachmi. Justice is mercy. Tuesday. The revelation, the attribute is shown how the world is conducted. But it's not that you have knowledgeable righteousness, which is the law. Nor knowledgeable justice, which is mercy. Nor are there these other attributes at all. This means to say that righteousness and justice exist as separate identifiable attributes, only related to the worlds and created beings. As regard to God himself, it's not you. It is not that you have these attributes. In relation to him, they do not exist independently at all, being completely unified with him. Just as the sunlight enjoys no identity, independent identity when it's within the sun. So that's the meaning of what the just said a statement of the Zohar, that the Eibush controls the world through tzedek and mishpat, not the Eibush tzedek and mishpat. Not that God is tzedek and mishpat. God is above tzedek and mishpat, and everything is united with him in his oneness. But ultimately, in the world, we have Sunday, Monday. Sunday is chesed. The first day is chesed. The second day is tzedek, and the third day is mishpat. The way he conducts himself in the world. I'm going to go to this long thing you could do. And that actually ends the Tanya of today. Okay, if you have time. So the beauty of this teaching.
Take it in a little, because phrase here and there.
So the course of the Farbrengen and Yutas Kislev, it ever explains the statement in the beginning of chapter 7 regarding the unity of divinity. Divine attribute of Ein Sof. The Alter Rebbe likens the unity to the unity of sunlight that was in the solar globe with the solar globe itself. The Rebbe goes on to say that the sun rays are found not only outside the solar globe, but must also surely exist to even a greater degree within their source, the sun. Nevertheless, so far as the sunlight is to be found within its source, it is united with it to such a degree that did no existence by itself at all. So ultimately, if the sunlight, it must come from the sun. But you cannot call it sunlight in the sun. Because in the sun, it's the sun. The sunlight is bottled, even though the sunlight comes from the sun. So if the sunlight comes from the sun, it must be in the sun. But the point is that in the sun, it's you don't have sunlight. It's the sun. When you have sunlight, now it's not the sun, it's the ray of the sun. So there's only one entity. That's the point. So Takid is Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes, the way they shine from God. But in God, it's God. In God, it's God. You don't say in God that is Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, because God is God. It's God, Ein Sof. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the blessed Ein Sof, there's Ein Sof. That's what you only can express. Ein Sof, infinite. In the way he expresses to the world, the way like the sun shines to the world, the ray of the sun, now you have. There's first day of creation. There's a second day of creation. There's a third day of creation. There's the fourth day of creation. So even though they all come from the Creator, they're ultimately 6 days in creation and 7 days Shabbos. And that's the beauty of this concept. That I ever wanted to explain this concept. You have to look in essence at this concept, something that we can, that the way the Eibishter ultimately comes down into the first day and second day and third day of creation and so on. And there's a way God is above creation. And where God's above creation, self-nesud, you cannot put any concept of the in God, there's Sunday, there's first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, and sixth day in God. In God, they're all one. And when I say they're all one, not that they come together as one in God. In God is God. There's no identity because they're so nullified to their existence in God. Therefore, in God itself, there's God. And that's basically how the Rebbe continues, but that's basically the concept. It's a very deep concept. It's a hard concept. As the Rambam says, it's a concept that's impossible for the human mind to comprehend this concept, really. So we can comprehend how God comes into the first day and second day and third day creation, and how ultimately every day is separate, and how ultimately every day has it. That's why kol yoyma v'yoyma aved avidite. You have to understand that when it says the expression that every single day has its avodah. Kol yoyma v'yoyma aved avidite, that every single day has its purpose. Why? Because every single day ultimately comes from a different agenda. So, for example, today is Wednesday. Today is Midas HaNetzach. And you really have to understand Midas HaNetzach to understand what is the purpose of Wednesday. And that's why Wednesday we start preparing for Shabbos. Start preparing for Shabbos. We actually have until Tuesday. We have the previous Shabbos. You can see Havdalah till Tuesday, till yesterday. And now starts the connection to the next Shabbos. Today starts the connection to the next Shabbos. Today we're going to be victorious. The concept of Netzach to establish what the real week is. Until today, we're still into the emotions of last week, of last Shabbos. And now we're starting really what the Avodah of this coming Shabbos is. And therefore, we express in the prayer, we express the concept of this coming Shabbos, Be'ezrat Hashem. But that ends the chitas of the Tanya of the day. Today is the second day of the month, which is chapter in your Tehillim, your Psalms. It's chapter 10 through chapter 17. Chapters 10 through chapter 17. If you do those 7 chapters, you will accomplish the chitas of today. 2 very important announcements. Number 1, the Mirz Hashem, the class that I usually give tomorrow, I'm doing today at 10 a.m. I'm going to do it today at 10 a.m. You can come to Chabad or on Zoom. It's a special class on the way the Rebbe looked at the world. It's a very beautiful class. The way the Rebbe they wanted that every Jew, as we come to Gimel Tammuz, we want to know what the Rebbe looked at the world. And the way what the Lubavitch Rebbe wanted every one of us to look at the world. It's a very uplifting, beautiful class. And in Mitzvah tonight, I mentioned it before, we're traveling to New York for Gimel Tammuz. Tomorrow is the Yortzeit, 29th Yortzeit of the Rebbe. And I'm going to be at the Ohel tonight, Be'ezrat Hashem, with the help of God, at the Ohel of the Rebbe. If you want, I should leave a letter. You can email it to me at zalmanbucher@yahoo.com, zalmanbucher@yahoo.com, or bring a letter to Chabad before 3 p.m. today. And I will bring the letter and drop it off, Be'ezrat Hashem, later tonight. I will drop it off when I go to the Ohel. I will drop it off. And as I wrote, the Rebbe would always say that tzaddikim, righteous people that serve the Jewish nation in this world, and their whole life was to uplift people, to pray for people, to help people, that they continue that service. That service does not end. It actually becomes even greater after they have passed physically from this world. And the tzaddik continues to pray and to be an ambassador of goodness and kindness for every Jew that wants to have him to be an ambassador. So therefore, it's an opportunity, especially on this day, to ask the Rebbe and to plead self-understood from the Rebbe. The Mashiach should come already and take us out of Gullus. That's the most important thing. And he should ask God to bring an end to this Gullus. That should be the ultimate blessing. And Mitzvah Hashem, I'm hoping, because I might have a technical difficulty tomorrow at 8 a.m. We'll see how that goes. But if I can get somebody else take it over, we might have a technical difficulty. So see what happens tomorrow at 8 a.m. if I am here or not. But I will surely be here on Friday at 8 a.m. We'll continue the Chitas of the day. I wish you all a beautiful day. I hope to see you all in Mitzvah at 10 a.m. We'll have a beautiful Sikh of the Rebbe.